How are you guys doing so far? Good? Awesome. I know Soulkey is a very special journey, right? I know Peter, he's been with me for many, many years doing Soulkey. So of all people I know, he's one of the best when it comes to this type of work because he really understands the depth of everything that is part of Soulkey. I just want to give you today's going to be a short call because I got another class meeting in less than 30 minutes, but I will share some stuff with you guys because I feel it's a privilege to actually show up in class like this, even though we are a lot, many kilometers apart, but still I just feel like a privilege to come say hi and see how everything is going. I'm really checking up on Peter. Don't tell him. No. It's all about, Soulkey is kind of special to me because Soulkey is basically how I discovered that I wanted to do real professional hypnosis. It's always been a part of me, this longing to becoming someone different or being something different has been something that's been following me since childhood. And I've done a lot of different stuff, checking out, do I have any psychic skills? Does healing exist? Does past lives exist? And for many, many years, I was not successful. And a lot of people tried basically to give me sessions, but nothing really happened. And I kind of lost faith in it. It's kind of like, okay, so apparently it's all BS, or I'm one of the ones who can't be hypnotized, or maybe I'm just the issue because I'm pretty clever if I'm so, if I should say that myself, and I might be over analyzing everything. And I kind of discovered being a client, I was always the one lying there on the table or the bed or whatever, trying to figure out what to do next, trying to build the imagery that they talked about, trying to adapt whatever they tried to guide me with. And at some certain point, I had an experience of basically just letting go. On a conscious level, accepting that I can't even build this idea. I can't even on a conscious level build the imagination to cope with an idea called past life or life in between life. I just gave it all away. And instantly I felt my body. And when I felt my body, it was kind of like, oh, this is kind of like a weird sensation. And my unconscious, just like a volcano, erupted right there in the middle of it. And all my senses came back to me with the experience of what I would call a true past life or in between life experience, because my conscious decided to step out. There's no way a conscious mind can either understand, build, or get the benefits from a past life regression, or just a Soulkey in general. But we have to establish this personal connection to our clients so they relax, so they feel guided, safe, and secure, but also that they feel our passion to guide them throughout the entire Soulkey session. That is the main thing. A lot of people focus so much about, saying the right words and copying sentences and passages from other past sessions so they can use with other clients. And same thing goes for hypnotists. Same thing goes for coaches, psychotherapists, kind of like, oh, let's get the perfect sentence. Let's get the golden nugget of words put together. So this is my code or my password with words that would unsolve or untangle any problem with any client. And I will tell you a secret right now, just to make everything so clear. It doesn't exist. There's no golden nugget. There's no one word or collaboration of words that will do everything for you on behalf of your client. But there is another golden nugget. There's another thing that can actually do the work every single time. And that thing is called connection. So when you look at your client, not thinking about what should I say, what do they expect, and what is those golden words from those past sessions, or what did Peter tell me, what did Martin tell me on all the videos, has nothing to do with that. No, look at your client, listen. What did they just tell you? Did they say yes, no, Did they give you some information? If they gave you information, ask about the information. If they said no, ask them, so what would it take to continue? If they said yes, ask about the information. It's that simple. So it's all about understanding the conversation. I know you guys had an experience on day 2, right? By creating flow, something like that, correct? Perfect. And that is a great exercise to understand that we have these moments with our clients where we communicate with them. And it's not about searching on their behalf. It's not about digging. It's not about analyzing or tell them what to do or not to do. It's basically all about mirroring back to them. And it's all about asking questions by not asking, questions, something that you made up in your conscious mind. But it has to be pure interest. It has to be pure passion, empathy, even love on your behalf of your client. You have to, create this magical moment throughout the entire session where you basically just want the best on behalf of your client. They will draw all conclusions. They will analyze afterwards with all the conscious minds and whatever. And that is perfectly okay as long as we don't do it mid-session. So it's all about creating this amazing moment of just relaxing. So, a very common thing when it's beginners or people who are getting into this and it's kind of new is they have a tendency of getting stuck within what was I supposed to say? And that is actually where you did it wrong. So when you're in that very moment, what am I supposed to say now? I just want you to take a deep breath, take a step back, look at your client thinking, what did they just tell me? And what does that mean? And then knowing that the greatest thing about your manual is basically one paper in the middle of it, showing you what to do throughout an entire session. We know there's induction. Everybody knows there's an induction. That is the groundwork of the entire session. Then we have the fireplace room. It has options. Whatever suits the client, we'll pick that option. And every option has some ideas, and Peter went through all of those with you so you know what to do. But it's all about asking your client, what do you want to do next? A or B? They'll choose something. Why is A important to you? They will tell you, and that's basically it. If they want to establish everything in the fireplace room and go straight to a past life, awesome. The only thing you need to know right now is, first of all, we're looking for those situations that gives answers. If those are not happening automatically, well, then we have the establishing. We have the dinner table. We have the womb just before they got born in this life and just before they got born in the past life. We have the death scene. We have all those amazing tools to build up trust and to build up understanding within our client, unless they already have it. Some clients go straight to that past life going like, this is who I am. I'm 21 years old. It's kind of like 1800s UK kind of feeling. And that is perfectly okay. What is your name? What do you know your name is right there? John. Okay, John, let's continue. So we establish this connection. So now it's you talking to your client and also talking to the client's persona in the past life. So basically you're speaking to two people right now. But also always the one who has the information, keep that one the closest. Just to understand this one. If you're connecting to your client and you're guiding your client, in the fireplace room, it's your client, the super conscious of your client, perfect. If you move to a past life and it's John, well, John is right now the most important person because they're the ones who are completely connected to that past life information. And right now, your client is kind of like listening in between. So address everything to John and not to your client. I hope that makes sense in some sort of way. Because it's more natural, and the more you kind of like establish that feeling of them allowing themselves to be who they were in a past life, way more information, the more trustful it will be, the more they will share with you in a natural way. And that is really how to build a past life. But it's all about that situation. It's all about that moment that is defining why they actually had to go back to that past life and experience something, because it means something to them. That is why we do past lives. Another thing that is kind of interesting that I usually address in most classes, 9 out of 10 basically, is the whole thing, oh, about the death scene. Ooh, right? And I know if I'm listening to that from a human perspective, I'm kind of like, this is weird. Why do I have to die? Okay. And if you're a little bit insecure and if your client is a little bit too connected to the emotions with which they shouldn't, that means they might be a little bit afraid of that, right? There might be some anxiety. And if you, as a facilitator, as a therapist, also is a little bit hesitating or a little bit, you feel the fear, whatever, it might lead to, deep emotions. But that's not the issue. So let me tell you one rule about the past life. It already happened. It's not a new thing. It already happened. They went through it many, many years ago. If it's 1600s, it happened in the 1600s, right? They've been through it. So there's two ways of experiencing this. Well, there's the client, as we talked about before, and there's John, okay? At some certain point, John gives up on life. And instead of sitting there like, so how do you die? How do you die? Huh? Oh, you get a knife to your chest? How does that feel? Right? That is not what we're aiming for. We don't want to know details about the death, but we truly want to understand it, because there's a big difference between lying in a bed and somebody has just been there and you take your last breath because you're sick and then you die. That can be both beautiful, it could be lonely, there might be family, there might be not, but it's kind of like a quiet death, isn't it? Then we have all the accidents. I fell out of a tree, I fell down the mountain, a rock hit me in the head, I don't know where it came from. Or there's battle, right? So that's the three most common things. So instead of going through the actual death scene, what I usually do is telling my clients and also my students, remember, this all happened already. It's okay. The reason why we have to do it is, first of all, establish what's happening as the last thing, because that is the connection to your current life, this life. So when you kind of like know there's nothing more in that situation that you can harvest, there's nothing more to the entire experience, that means let's do the death scene now. And instead of asking questions about it, like how many stab wounds do you have, or how many times did you get shot, because it's not necessary and we don't need it. It is instead very interesting and necessary to go, in just a moment, I will count from 3 to 1. Before or on the count of 1, you will take your last breath and just leave that body, and everything that you can feel with that body is left behind. And when you levitate on top of your body, looking down, you know everything about why you had to see this, about why you had to experience this, and what to bring with you to this life. And I go 3, 2, deep breath, 1. And never, ever, ever ask the question, have you left the body yet? Are you dead yet? Because those questions might create concern within the client, and they go, well, I don't really know, because this is a brand new experience, at least as who the client is right now, but as a soul, they've done this thousands of times maybe, right? So the thing is, as they levitate, because that's the instruction you gave them, they just hover right there, and you go, what is the first thing you notice when you look down on that body? That great job that body did. No matter how it went, you know it did a great job. And that can be very emotional, because let's say they failed. Let's say they weren't successful in life for some reason. And they think with a human mind, a human consciousness, that is failure. My question is it? If they know what they failed doing, if they know that as a soul, they still got a great learning, okay? So even though they might not have done the things they expected to do, now they know why they didn't. Because it might be some circumstances from the outside bringing everything to that situation so they couldn't. Maybe they didn't get the learnings they needed in life, but now they know. So now they know the importance of why they planned the life and why they failed. That is a great, great knowledge. And it's a great learning. If it's a success, they might go, okay, so we just move on. And if it's a failure, they have two options now as a soul. One, I know everything right now. It's awesome because, you know, I got the learnings. I just move on. Some eager souls, they want another go at it because they know they can make the change within their life. So they choose another life with similar circumstances, with similar challenges, and they will make sure that they might have a better option of changing their minds, being who they are in that life, and actually get the success because they want that experience. It's the experience of success being a human being. The experience of changing the patterns as a human being. As a soul, it doesn't really matter because you know either way is good, but you might want that physiological manifestation feeling of, whoa, I did it. I broke the pattern within the family and now I'm successful. So that is why souls might want to go do it again. And souls is perfectly okay with what we call human conscious failure because it really wasn't. It was a great learning. Does that make sense to you guys? You're all nodding. You're all so quiet. Oh. Who would have expected an intense meeting like this from the very beginning of the day, huh? That's awesome. So another thing is, when we got this entire death scene going, the next question usually pops up would be something like, what about this silver cord thing? Why is that necessary? Because if we kind of like accept the whole idea of, oh, we know we died already, we're just going through it once again, to kind of like know what the successes are and all of that. Well, here's the thing. On a physiological, let's see, here we go. Another message just popped up. Another physiological experience is a huge part of this. The manifestation of the untangled karma, auras, energy, or whatever that would be within your system might have a connection to the lack of understanding that is connected to that past life. So if you go through a past life, that might be a physiological thing that is affecting your life right now. So you have a sore throat your entire life, you have a bad hip or whatever, because it came from something in the past life. Plus, you might have some psychological challenges because it came from a past life. You might have fear of something from a past life, or anxiety of from something from a past life. And even though you go through a past life session and you understand it, it might not impact your body and your mind as who you are right now, besides just the understanding. And those signals from a past life who keeps reminding you there was a problem you need to understand, they're still there. They still work. It's still kind of like a disturbance in the force if we go all Star Wars on it. Or it might be if you got your old school radio and you found that perfect radio station and it sounded so clear for many, many years. And now suddenly, every time your favorite tune is on, this sound comes and you can't really hear the song. That's the same idea I want you to put on top of this one. So by going through the death scene and acknowledging you're actually connected to it and you're cutting the silver cord, it means one thing. It means everything that was the signal, the beacon of letting you know, hey, there's some golden nuggets here, there's some information, there's some learnings. It stops working because now when you cut it, you accept the signal and you grab all the values with you and you integrate that within your body. Because the only fear that people have when they say, well, why cut the silver cord? Because does that mean we can never connect to that life? No. It's just accepting all those signals right now as being, yes, it's okay. I cut it right now. Thank you for letting me know. Now I understand. Now I feel. Now I can do something with it. That is the entire idea. You can always visit that life again, but here's another fact. 99 out of 100 would never visit that life again because it has no more value. Okay? And the silver cord makes sure that on several levels of understanding, it falls into place. So there's no like, should I go back? Did we forget anything? If there's something you've forgotten, the silver cord can be cut. But if you do things just basic from the manual, everything Peter told you, trust me, you will be able to cut the silver cord. There's 1 out of 100 that doesn't. And the only question you can ask is, what do you need to do now to be able to cut the silver cord? And in almost 100% of those 1 cases out of 100, it has all to do with the people who are with them when they die. They want to make sure they are okay because they're so connected to them. So even if they died and they're not part of the body anymore, they just want to make sure the family are okay. So it's a question of a couple of more minutes, and they connect with them like, I'm still here, it's okay, I'm with you, I love you all. And when that feeling is okay, they can cut the cord and they can leave the past life because it already happened. So that's the thing you need to know. It already happened. So we are tapping into a different world, a different dimension to get that information that we planned it ourselves for us to understand further on in life, making sure that, hey, I hit a key for you. So if you need some help in 200 years from now, I hit something in your energy that makes you feel awful throughout your entire life until you understand that you can go grab that key and you can unlock it and you can get a golden nugget of information, of learning, or knowledge, and you will feel okay. That's basically what it's all about. So that is the main idea behind doing, the death scene and the silver cord and making sure all of that is okay. Are you with me? Awesome. Yeah. I hope I added some information to what Peter already told you, because I just wanted that dimension to be a little bit extra and a little bit more powerful. So how are you guys doing? I do apologize. I only have a couple of minutes left because I have another class waiting right now, actually. So I do apologize for that. But how's your experience right now? I don't want to just leave. I just want to know.
Well, it's been good. A little bit, how do we say it? Distracted.
Yeah.
Well, how do I describe it? I feel good. I feel strange. I'm not sure what I feel.
Good. Awesome.
I'm learning that this is what I need to do, but it's weird.
Yeah, I know. And I consider all those words as the best possible outcome. If you feel strange and weird and it's a little bit crazy, cool, because hey, you just tapped into an entire different world, right?
Yeah.
You just tapped into something that is basically kind of crazy. And the understanding, trust me, that'll follow you, and it's gonna, fall into place in a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, and that's okay. But what you might not have paid attention to yet is your entire body, the energy on the inside and the energy of the outside has gone through some massive changes. So not only you might have had a great connection before you did this, but from the very first day, I know that Peter did something that expanded all of you so you can tap into that dimension or that connection easy as nothing. And that is kind of like listening through a straw for your entire life. And right now, Peter put 2 loudspeakers on each ear that is playing like full volume. That is the physiological difference. So, hey, high five for feeling strange. Here we go. Right? It's basically all about that, and I get it. And one of my most important things that I tell my clients, my students, would be, at some point throughout this training, you would hit the wall. And what I mean by hitting the wall is, at some point you'll go, I don't get anything. And excuse me for my language, I'm fucking confused right now. I don't know what to do. And I'll go, good. That means learning is happening. That means you just left your conscious idea of what you think you should do into just learning with your entire system. And then suddenly it clicks and you just discover, hey, you're just sitting there doing stuff without knowing how you did it, because your conscious went like, I trust you, just do it. And that's good, because the only thing the conscious mind should do while you do the hard work is basically breathe. Remember to breathe deeply, because it can do one thing only. That means the adults can play now, meaning your super conscious, your soul conscious, and your unconscious. It can go and have fun. And the conscious mind will sit like this. I have to breathe. Here's a deep one. Perfect. I'll just wait for the next tip, then, or the next feeling where it feels a little bit awkward. I will take another deep breath on a conscious level. Awesome. That's my job. That is the condition we have to set up. So it's basically all about that. So I hope that makes sense to you. It's all good. So yeah.
It's just a great experience, and yes, I am still a bit confused. I hit the wall a few times, so but I'm learning.
Perfect.
I'm learning, and
Yes, you are.
great feeling.
Perfect. You are absolutely learning. And today, when you're getting to put everything together, you will have way different sessions than your clients will, because you've been through it 3 days of amazing work. I know that. And you've been so privileged that you can actually watch a session right next to the other ones working, because you're a small group. That is a huge privilege, because you will pick up on stuff. You will notice more stuff than regular students will do. But when you put everything together today, it will be a different experience, because you went through all the prep work. You've been all excited. So now today will be the total key points on a personal level, what you need to do to live the life you need right now. Plus, it will be some hints to, hey, we've got this stuff going on for you. The reason why you're here right now is because you actually chose to do something like that. So go ahead and be successful. And it might feel, here's my last advice, it might feel like a great responsibility, like a huge one, thinking, I can't have all that responsibility. But remember, your soul being on a human journey. You can do everything that you planned for. And whenever you think about what other people would think, you just limited yourself. But when you know from deep inside what you really can do, you can go anywhere and nobody can tell you not to do it. So that is the mission of this life. This is the quest. So feel it and be honest. That's basically it. Make sense?
Yes.
Yay! Awesome.
Is there still time for one question specific? Marley says.
Quick one. Quick one.
Marley, go for it.
It's about tinnitus. I've had tinnitus my whole life. And after the last experience from the past life yesterday, the sound in my ear is just higher and sharper than it was ever before.
Okay. Well, here's 1 second. I'll just letting the other knows that it might take a couple more minutes. Here's the thing. There's 2 ways of tinnitus, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's the one because something happened within your body, and there's a disturbance of some kind, and now it's just something that is chronic within your ear, right? That is the thing, and that is the one that could be devastating feeling to have, and it's awful. I know that it can be solved in some different ways, but if it's very physiological, we might not be able to change it. But there's also the psychological tinnitus that is caused by stress, anxiety, fear, whatever. It could be anything really, anything that could be a psychological challenge, and that one can be easily dealt with. And when I mean easily, it might be 1 session, might be 2 sessions of really awesome hypnotherapy. By the way, Peter's having a class soon to be, so he probably tell you something about that. So if you want more about the hypnotherapy stuff, you should actually ask Peter about that, because he has a class coming up, as far as I know, right, Peter?
Yeah, March, April.
Awesome. There you go. So
March.
it's soon. So it's actually soon. But my point is that can easily be dealt with. But there's a third tinnitus kind of experience. That is the one that you might experience once in a while, sitting by yourself, and then suddenly this sound pops up in your inner ear. It goes like either a very high note down to a lower one, or the opposite way, and then it just disappears.
Yeah, it goes from left to right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I call a clear audience. And clear audience is where you have a connection. You have somebody tapping your shoulder, letting you know, hey, focus, something is happening, feel. Either protect yourself or open up your eyes, because there's a message. And probably, if you think about it right now, you experience changes in that when you had Soulkey sessions. Both seeing clients, and it pops open and it shuts down again, pops open. But that is you being on an amazing level of understanding. That is your soul tapping into you, okay? That is a physiological connection from your soul. That is amazing, right? But it also happens with clients, that their presence or their soul presence makes the same experience. So like something pops, and here we go, there's that sound again. So if it happens to me, let's say I'm sitting in my living room late night watching television or something, and now this sound comes, and instead of going like, oh, that's weird, and trying to do something about it, I'll go, so who's got a message? And usually something pops up, and those messages are usually something that has to do with my work or my success, like a clear idea, kind of like a new idea for hypnosis protocol or whatever. It hits me like a fist in my face, and I just know so much from that teeny tiny moment. Instead of just a word, it's kind of like it's half a book I get in that very moment. It's kind of like my knowledge expands just a little bit. And some people might go, that fucking guy is crazy, right? but I just accept it as it is, because why couldn't it be? Why should it be something different? Because if that's my experience, that is my experience, and I love it. So, and it's always when I least expect it. That means I couldn't have made it happen. So if it's when I least expect it, it's because it's real. So that's what I want to say to that one. Yeah?
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Reframe of tinnitus.
Yeah. I need to go now. I got another class waiting for me. So I hope you guys will have an amazing day. And Peter will send this information to me, this video, and I'll make sure it gets up there on the Soulkey forum so you can watch it again and listen to those answers. And for me right now, have an amazing journey. I hope you love the tools, and I will be looking for you guys in the future, knowing that you will be successful. So thank you for letting me be part of your class today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Martin. It was a great power talk.
There we go. Awesome.
Okay. Hey,
See you
thank
guys.
you.
Bye.
Hey, bye-bye.